So, hello, what is up you guys? It is your girl Margot here, back again with another video, and today I figured that I should do something a little bit more sustainable because, as you can probably tell, I have been doing a lot of Minecraft videos recently, and I feel bad because now that I'm working full-time, I just can't do it. Like, I can't find the time to make any videos except on the weekends. And I'm so tired that I just, like, I can't do it. But anyway, so today I was at the farmer's market with my mom, and recently it's been very difficult to, I guess, get her to shop more sustainably and get myself to shop more sustainably because I am in no means an expert on fashion. I'm not an expert on different types of fabrics, but I have learned a lot since I have gone away to college, and I've learned a lot about like how to shop more sustainably. And I was trying to explain to my mom that like there are certain types of fabrics that are more sustainably made than others. So today I thought I would share some of those things with you, and as you can tell probably by the title of this video, my tips for shopping more sustainably. So yeah, I guess here we go. Number one is to always look at the tag of whatever you're buying, whether it's a shirt, whether it's pants, whether it's socks. Always look at the tag, because there's just so much information there that nobody cares to read, and the tag of whatever product you're buying can definitely tell you a lot about where that product came from. So, for example, I probably should have pulled something out. Oh, here. So this is a sweatshirt that I probably raved about in an Instagram post or something. It's from H&M. It's part of the Divided collection, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's part of the Divided collection. And on the tag, it says made in Bangladesh, and then nothing else. It doesn't say any more information, but if you look at this tag, the bigger tag with like all the boring information that nobody wants to read, it can actually give you like a lot of things that maybe you didn't want to read. Maybe you just skim it over, and you know, you can get a lot from this. It's not, a lot of it is in other languages too sometimes, which is kind of annoying, but sometimes if you find, like this one's in Russian. I don't know, I think that's in Spanish. Oh, here it is, English. The shell of this is 100% cotton. The hood is 95% cotton, 15% viscose. The hood lining is 95% cotton, 15% viscose. And so that just gives you like what it's made out of, which although it may not seem very important, it's very important because it tells you a lot about the contents of this. So I don't know whether or not this is recycled cotton or not, but I do know that H&M in particular, if you've seen my Instagram page anytime soon, I have a highlight that's all about like my favorite sustainable brands, and H&M does a really good job because they recycle a lot of their they have a recycled clothing program where you can send in clothes that you don't want anymore from any brand, not just H&M, and they'll take those fabrics and recycle them to make whatever clothing they're gonna make next, which I think is really cool. So there's that. So H&M does a really good job. So my number one tip, look at the tag. It'll give you lots of information. And towards the end of this video, I can go through like which fabrics are more sustainable than others, because I have a list here that I got. I'll link the website down below. I think it was called like Good On You or something. And they do a lot of like research about like the history of different fabrics and where they come from. So I got all my information from there, which was really helpful because even I like I know like polyester isn't sustainable, so every single time I'll look at a tag, I'll see polyester and I'll shoot it down immediately. I won't buy it. But there are other fabrics that maybe like I didn't know before. Like I didn't know wool was sustainable at all. I didn't know that that was sustainable at all. So towards the end I'll go through. My number 2 tip is, even if it looks like it might be sustainable, if it has like a green tag or maybe like leaves on the tag, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's sustainable. I know that there's a lot of brands that like just for us, like just for pretty much just attention, they'll put out like, oh, we're making all this stuff sustainable now. Like I was pretty wary of H&M at first, but then I dug into it and a lot of their stuff is made pretty sustainably, so that's fine. And there are a lot of brands that are just naturally very sustainable, which is good, but a lot of the time, like just for attention, they will lie and they'll make it look sustainable even if it's not. Like a lot of the trademarks are like green tags or like a green leaf or like, you know, like you'll see like the aesthetic. I'll probably put it somewhere on the screen, but like the aesthetic of like what is sustainable, and that's just kind of annoying to look out for. But I definitely do look out for that because I'll see something that looks sustainable and then I'll look at the tag and it'll be like, oh my god, it's not sustainable. Like that's really annoying. But yeah. Number 3. A lot of times if you see something that's from Asia, the reason why they're getting it from Asia, places like China and Bangladesh and India, those places can get cheap labor. And if you see something that's like from the US, a lot of times that's a good sign. Because if they're willing to spend the money to have their product made in the US, number one, if it's made in the US, they're already saving the planet from tons of transportation because they're not having it shipped from another country. But also, if it's from a lot of Asian countries, they use a lot of child labor. And especially with certain types of fabrics as well. Like silk is, for example, is like very eco-friendly because it's made from silkworms, and I even heard that they're starting to do, they're using spider silk now, but also the silk industry as a whole is known to use a lot of child labor. And if you're okay with that, fine, make your own choice. But personally, I don't feel conscious doing that. And I'm sure a lot of, like, I'm sure this shirt is probably made from somewhere, but it's my school shirt, so why not? Number 4 would be, don't go overboard. I had a really bad habit of, like, when I first started trying to shop more sustainably, I would basically attack my parents for buying anything that wasn't sustainable. And right now, I sort of came to the realization that right now it's very, very difficult to shop sustainably. It's difficult to be able to like look at a tag and judge from that whether or not a product is sustainable. Because you don't know, maybe it could be sustainable and they're just telling you that it's from China because of whatever reason, I don't know. But, you know, transparency is not something that's, you know, it's not something that is easily obtained in the fashion industry. Companies will not tell you if their product is sustainable or not. And like I said earlier, sometimes they'll tell you it is even if it isn't, just to get the attention. And that's very frustrating, but at the same time, I have a very hard time not going overboard and just like not even regarding the fact that I may need to buy something, but I won't buy something just because it's not sustainable. Like, it's okay to just like take them, like, it's something that you have to work into slowly. Like, shopping sustainably is something that you need to like slowly find your way into. You can't just overnight suddenly transform your whole closet into a sustainable haven. Like, that's not possible. So that's something that I learned. Number 5, just learn more about sustainable fashion and just educate yourself. Go online. We have all of this, like the entire internet at our fingertips. And yes, of course, not everything that you read is going to be true, but a lot of times just putting the possibility of an idea in your head could open your mind up to so many different things. Like, my mom didn't know that sunscreen is really, really bad for coral reefs. She just didn't know that. And when she found that out, she started freaking out. She was like, well, what sunscreens are sustainable and are really good for our planet? And I said, well, there's not a lot. So I sort of had to explain that to her. But, you know, just figuring out that, you know, it's going to be okay. Eventually, one day, we'll be able to have more sustainable products. But for right now, just not sort of, you know, not going overboard. The rest of the things that I said in this video, you know, I'll let you know. But yeah. So now I will share with you a few of the fabrics that I researched anyway, using the website that I'll link down below. A lot of this stuff I didn't know, and obviously, like I said, like a lot of this stuff isn't going to be, like, I don't know if it's true or not, but they did give a very thorough description of, like, the history of each fabric and, like, which fabrics are really good and how they're made traditionally. They spoke in a very general sense, so, you know, there are some brands that can use recycled fabrics, and then there are some that can't, so. Number one is cashmere. Cashmere takes about 4 goats to make 1 sweater, is what I learned. And also cashmere is very expensive. So it's really, really hard to make. So it's not, it didn't say anything about what exactly makes it unsustainable, so it's probably, like, I don't know if it's biodegradable or not. But I, for right now, am deciding to stay away from cashmere just because it does take 4 goats to make 1 sweater. That doesn't seem very proportional. Number 2 is wool. Wool is apparently great. My dog just walked in the room, I'm sorry. Wool is great. It's biodegradable, and it also changes the like, it can absorb the temperature of your body, I think it said. So, like, in the winter, it absorbs the heat, and it, like, keeps you very warm. Or in the summer, if you choose to, nobody wears wool in summer, but, like, if you did, I'm sure that would be fine, because it's a great fabric that is really sustainable. And I had heard that before, I just didn't know, so. It's also easier to make because, you know, you're not killing the sheep, you're just shearing the sheep and then using it for wool. And as long as it's not using any dyes that are harmful, it should be fine. Velvet. Velvet, it was kind of interesting to read about because I learned that velvet can pretty much be made from any yarn. A lot of times, like, it'll be, you know, substituted for other different types of fabrics, but for the most part, you know, velvet is looking pretty sustainable, so I would give it a pretty good score. Polyester. Polyester is apparently terrible. Of all the fabrics, polyester was the worst that I possibly read. It's not biodegradable. The dyes are traditionally not eco-friendly. They're traditionally very, very harmful. And it consumes a lot of water in the process of producing it. Which obviously, in a time where we need all the water that we can get, it's not very good that we're wasting water to create polyester. Same with nylon. Nylon is also apparently not good at all. It's apparently on the same level as polyester, so that's just what I learned. Silk. Silk is great because it is eco-friendly. It's made in a very eco-friendly way. It's made from silkworms. And like I said earlier, I think they're also trying to use spider silk. But it also uses child workers, and the article said that as long as you choose your brands very carefully when it comes to silk, you should be fine, because there are a lot of brands that produce silk sustainably, but it really just depends on what brand. And last but not least, there are 3 very, very sustainable fabrics that are really good, hemp being one of them. I actually have a hemp backpack that I got in Nepal, which is pretty great. It's holding up amazing, and I used it for like the last half of the school year because it was so good, and I'm definitely going to use it next year because I love it to death. But hemp is very sustainable because it's easy to produce, it's biodegradable, it's amazing. As long as the dyes that they're using are sustainable, it's fine. Recycled cotton is also pretty good. I didn't read anything about like regular cotton, but recycled cotton should be fine. Obviously, the origins of how cotton was made, especially in the US, it has a very rich history, but it is produced very heavily in the US, so that's pretty cool. But as long as it's recycled, it's 100% sustainable. Organic hemp and organic linen. I thought it said liner. I'm sorry, guys. Can't read my own handwriting. Organic linens. Linen is actually made from flax seeds and flax plants. So flax is obviously something that can be grown very easily. It's great. It's a great plant. And it can do a lot of things. So flax and hemp are great. Highly recommend them. I'm choosing to trust this article. You guys can do your own research as to what you think is fine, but by all means, just let me know what you think of all the stuff that I told you in this video. If you know better, if you know something that just wasn't true that I said in the video, please let me know, and I can correct that. But yeah. So, if you like this video, please like it, give it a thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe if you're new here. I try to post as often as I can, but sometimes it doesn't work out, so like recently, because I work so often, I work 5 days a week, so it's kind of a little bit more difficult to post videos, but Minecraft videos seem to be the easiest right now, which is why I've been posting so many of them. But if you did like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and in the comments below, like, let me know what you thought of this video, and what you want me to do next. Yeah, thanks for watching. Bye!